Hi everybody, sorry I'm late. I had a little bit of a snafu with the camera not being set up right and it was showing the wrong thing, and anyway, all fixed. I'm here now. Happy Thursday, welcome to Lunchtime Live. For those of you who are new, I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps, and Lunchtime Live is basically like my weekly video newsletter. I'm going to tell you all about the stuff that's going on the blog, and then we end every week with a little demo. And today I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Wonder Knitter from Clover, which they gave me to review, and I'm still practicing with it, and then I'll write up a review. So all of the things that we talk about in the video, if you want to see, hi Beth, nice to see you. If you want to see the links to any of the things I talk about, the patterns that I tell you about, the products that I tell you about, in the description on the video you will see one link to a blog post, and in that post it has all the links to everything that I'm planning to talk about. That way I didn't have to flood the description with 50 links. It's all in that blog post. So go there for anything that you want to follow up on that we're talking about in the video. So let's get into it. This week has been a little busy. I've been doing some videos that aren't actually on the blog, so those are fun. But what is on the blog is the new pattern that just came out. This is the Starflower Lace Doily. I've showed it to you a couple of times. We can actually flip over and take a look at it in detail here. So this is the doily. It's got pineapple lace in the middle, and then it's got the flower stitch around the edge. And I have a tutorial also that came out last week for how to make the flower stitch, and in last week's Lunchtime Live we actually did a demo on that. So that is the new pattern on the blog right now. Other things new this week, I showed you guys a few weeks ago a game called Arch Ravels, which I don't have the box handy so I can't show you, but it is a fiber-based game. Hi Laura, nice to see you. It is a fiber arts based game. It's all about knitting and crocheting. You collect yarn of various colors, you use it to knit or crochet patterns, and then you sell those patterns in bunches to fill orders, and the orders are worth points. The individual products that you make are worth points too, but not nearly as much as the completed orders. So I played it with my husband. He totally skunked me, which I'm a little bad about. He's not the fiber artist. He's not supposed to win. But it was so super fun. And I'm going to play it again before I do the review, just so that I can make sure I really know all the rules and that I don't tell you anything wrong in the review. But what I do have up right now is the unboxing video. So on my YouTube channel you can see all of the little bits that are in the box. Laura, I think you were asking, you said, is any yarn good for this, or what's the best? I think you're asking about the doily, and if so, any fingering weight yarn will, okay, let me back that up. The pattern is written for fingering weight yarn. You can use literally any yarn you want to, as long as you use an appropriate size hook, but the yardage won't match up. Like if you use a thicker yarn, you're going to need a lot more yardage than what it says in the pattern. So be aware of that. You might need to buy more yarn if you need to use a different yarn. This yarn is actually yarn that I spun. I had some leftover scraps of fiber in pink and blue and lots of natural colors and a little bit of white, and I blended it all together to make kind of a gradient, and then I spun it up. You'll actually see all the details of it on Instagram if you want to. But so this yarn isn't even the most, it's not even the most what's the word, uniform. It's not even the most uniform all the way throughout. So what I did was I got 1 gauge with my yarn, but I know it was thicker in spots, so I looked at what the tester did. I had somebody test the pattern and I looked at what she did, and based on that is what I did for the gauge and the yardage. So it's not even based on my yarn. My actual doily came out 1 inch larger than what's written in the pattern because my spinning is not perfect. So it's based on the tester's project. I hope that answers the question. Okay, so that was the Arch Ravels video. Check that out on YouTube. And then the other thing that I've got a video on, and this is, I did bring a sample. It's somewhere in this giant bag. I've lost it now. Here it is. This is something I found 2 or 3 years ago, there's a company called Art Esprit that makes thermal transfer markers. And I'm working with them on a project, so they sent me a whole bunch of goodies. I showed them to you in a previous video. They sent me a whole bunch of free samples to basically play with. And I decided that my iron, my household iron, it worked, but it just wasn't cutting it. You had to hold it there in each spot for like 2 or 3 minutes to get the transfer to go all the way through. So what I did was I found a cheap mini heat press on Amazon, and I bought it. Here it is. So this is my mini heat press. It's small, it's about the size of a regular iron, so it doesn't give me any more working space, but it has 3 heat levels. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's 3 heat levels, and it is super easy to use. It's a little heavy, so it actually gives some pressure, which you need for the thermal transfer too. And it's really hot, like it's twice as hot as my iron. And it comes with this nice base that has holes in it and everything, so when it's hot, you can put it in the base and it'll be okay. I may put, if I use this again on my wood table, I might actually put like another, I don't know, a trivet or something underneath it just to protect the wood table even more. I didn't have an issue, but you know, just in case. But anyway, before I used that on the big project I'm working on, because I'm working on a large project for Art Esprit that's going to be on their site, not mine. But I was working on that and I'm like, I don't want to ruin it yet. So before I did that, I did a little practice run with one of the blanks that they sent me, and I made this little bookmark. So, and my drawing sucks, guys. Just so you know, I can maybe draw a stick figure well sometimes. So don't be turned off by my artwork. But the little hook in the bookmark just looked like a face, so I just drew that, and this was done with a stamp, and the only thing that I'm actually somewhat decent at drawing is hearts, so I drew the hearts. It was a lot of fun to make, and the heat press made it much more vibrant. This is a metal bookmark with a coating for the thermal transfer. This is sublimation, but it's sublimation done without a printer. It's done with just the sublimation markers. And I did, my point in telling you all this, I did a video for this, just a quick test video to show how the heat press worked, and you'll find that on my YouTube channel as well. So check out that video, and those are things that are not on the blog yet. The heat press, it's a generic sort of brand, so I don't really, and I bought it, so I don't really have a review for it per se. This video is like my review, but I probably will do more projects with the Art Esprit markers and post some of that. So you'll see some of that on the blog eventually, but for right now it's just that quick test video and then the project that I'm working on for their site. So that is basically what I've been up to this last week. So what is coming up? Next week is my turn in the soft decal, which is a popular one that we do over on CAL Central, and that link is not in my post, so I'll add that later. It's CAL Central Crochet on Facebook. So if you go to Facebook and you search CAL Central Crochet, you'll find it. Don't just search CAL Central, because I think that has something to do with like a university in California or something like that. But for that project, I'm making another one of my baby stuffies, you know, the little like bowling pin shaped ones. I'm thinking a sloth. Based on the colors I have at hand, I'm thinking a sloth. It might end up being a koala, but right now I'm thinking sloth. So that's one thing. And then the other thing that I'm working on is, and this is for a couple weeks from now, is a hat, a nice sun hat. At Creativation Online this year, I spent some time talking to King Cole Yarns, because I've been wanting to try their yarns. They're out of England. And so they sent me some of this raffia yarn to use. I have never crocheted or knit with something like this before. It's a ribbon yarn, but it feels like silky grass, I would have to say. Like it's a tape yarn. It's just not what you would expect. I can't quite describe it. I'm gonna have to get better at describing it, but it's a little woody, and it looks like it's going to give a really nice structure to a hat. So I'm excited to work with this for my hat. I'm hoping it comes out kind of like the wicker sun hats that you get. For that hat though, I want to make a little cord to go around it at the top, and I thought I could just use a ribbon, but how fun would it be to make an actual like cord, right? So I have this summer yarn from King Cole in this beautiful colorway that I thought would match really well with the raffia. And oh, there we go. And I think it does. It's got some of those browns in it that really pick up the beige tones in the raffia. So I'm going to make a cord with this, and I'm going to do it using the Wonder Knitter from Clover, because Clover sent me this, and this is freaking amazing, you guys. So how many of you know what a French knitter is? Have you ever used a French knitter before? A lot of them come in those little, like those knitting dolls where it's just like a little doll shaped thing and it's got pegs on the top. That's what the Wonder Knitter is, but better. So this thing, and Clover sent it to me for free, disclaimer, okay, but it's really awesome, you guys. So this is the package for it. I've taken it out already. It comes with a nice instruction booklet. This is the Wonder Knitter. The reason this is different from a normal French knitter, there's a couple of things. First of all, this bit turns, and second of all, this holds your yarn for you. I'm going to show you why that's better. Laura, you've never used one, so I will be sure to explain how it's working. And Beth, yeah, I'm the same. I used it a long time ago and went, this is a pain. I can do this faster with knitting needles, right? And then I just stopped. But this is actually faster than doing it with knitting needles. I love this thing. I've used it for all of 10 minutes and I love this thing. This is the sample that I made right before this video, just so that I could show you, and it's a nice stretchy cord. So I'm going to switch over here and I'm going to show you how this thing works. So first let's talk about how a normal French knitter works. For a normal French knitter, this is stationary and you don't have this thing here, okay? So you cast on, you start by sticking your tail down through the hole and pull it out, okay? And for the first few stitches, you're going to want to hold tension on the tail just so it doesn't get floppy. So I hold it just like that, tuck it under my fingers. Now, for a normal French, well, for both of them, this is how you load it. You're going to wrap the yarn clockwise around your hook, okay? Now don't go to this hook next, because you want this yarn to go all the way around this hook. So you're going to go this way and then go to this hook. Wrap it clockwise, then come over here, wrap it clockwise. Okay, you should have that little triangle with all of the pegs nicely wrapped when you're finished. Let me show you that again. So you come up from behind this peg, okay, wrap it clockwise, whoops, wrap it clockwise, then go to this peg, wrap it clockwise, then go to this peg and wrap it clockwise. Okay, that is how you load the French knitter. Now normally for other French knitters, you then take this yarn and you wrap it around all of the pegs like this. Okay, because nothing moves, right? You wrap it around all the pegs, then you pick up your tool and you do this thing where you pick up this stitch and pull it over that one and yada yada, right? But you have to do the wrapping, then put down your tool, then pick up your stitch, do all that, then put down your tool, wrap it again, and that's why it became a pain, right? Well, with this one, two things happen. First of all, this spins, so it wraps itself, and this holds the yarn, so it makes it easy to keep tension on it. So you stick the yarn over here, and I find, like in the instructions, they don't have any tension on this, they're not holding it, but I found that I wanted to hold it just slightly when I was working it, and then when I'm wrapping it, I let it go. So I just tucked it under there just for when I'm wrapping it, or I'm sorry, just when I'm working it. So I'm wrapping it, so I let it go, and all I do is I keep this in my hand, wrap to the next stitch, pick it up, and pull it off, okay? Then turn this some more, wrap to the next stitch, pick it up from the bottom, and pull it off the top. And this is how you knit the stitches, and you just keep doing this, and in like 10 minutes, you'll have a cord like that one that I did. and it's super easy. You can see how fast it goes, right? Now after a few rows, I'd say after maybe 2 more rounds here, I can pull on that tail to tighten it up and then let go of it. Okay, let's stop there. Pull on this tail to tighten it up and let go of it. So now that I don't have to worry about. Now I'm only holding on to this working yarn here. See how much cooler this is compared to a regular French knitter? This is just, it's so fast. There's no shifting, there's no like doing one thing and then doing another. You just turn and toss the stitch off. You don't have to let go of your hook, you don't have to wind the yarn. It does it all for you. And I am so excited by that, and I'm totally going to use this for the cord on the hat. Now, because for the pattern, I don't want to say you have to have this tool. I will give some other options. You could also use like a Romanian cord, or you could do some chains, but this is totally the one I'm using. So this is, it's really kind of addictive. Like, you don't want to put it down. But I want to show you, I want to get a little bit into it so I can show you how to bind it off. So let me just do a couple more. Now if you want to make sure you've got an even number of stitches, you might want to mark your first stitch somehow. A lot of people will put a little like pen mark on one of the pegs and always use that peg as their first peg. So that way you know you've worked it evenly. I don't really care in this case. Oops, I lost my stitch. So that can happen. You just pick it up and put it back on, start over. There you go. Okay, let's go ahead and fasten it off here. So to fasten it off, the first thing that you have to do is cut the yarn, and you want to leave enough of a tail to wrap all the way around once, plus have a tail to sew in later. So I'm leaving like that much of a tail. Okay, what is that, like 8 inches maybe, something like that. Okay, so you go to the next stitch, which is this one, and this time instead of pulling the stitch up and off, you're going to pull this tail through. So I'm going to come up from behind, I'm going to grab this tail that's sitting here, I'm going to keep it in this, there we go, grab this tail that's sitting here and pull it through just like that. Okay, don't throw that off yet. You can, I just find it's easier if you don't. Okay, grab this tail and pull it through from top to bottom. Last one, grab this tail and pull it through from top to bottom. Okay, now I've gone through all 3 stitches, right? So now I can take all the stitches off. Okay, all of those off, and pull this out here and just pull on both tails, and there you have your cord. So super fast and easy. Yeah, Laura, it's awesome. It's just, I didn't want to stop when I was doing it. It's so like relaxing, and it creates such a pretty cord, right? It's this beautiful round cord. I'm going to totally try this with leather cording and see if I can't make a handle for a purse, but not for a little while because I'm kind of backed up with projects right now. But I do plan to try that with leather. I think it will work. My only concern is if the leather's too stiff, if it'll break the pegs. But I'm gonna try it and see, and hopefully not break the pegs, because I really like this thing and I don't want to lose it. The other cool thing is it has interchangeable discs. So this one here, instead of 3 pegs, has 6 pegs. So you can make a cord that's twice the size. And I've seen some projects done with just these cords, because if you have one that's, well, first of all, this cord, you can do things where you layer it on itself like that to make cool shapes and designs. And if you have the thicker cord, you can actually do like skinny stuffed animals and stuff like that with it. So it's kind of fun. You could probably make legs and arms and stuff for amigurumi with this pretty easily too. And that is all I have for you this week. That's the demo. Any questions on this stuff before I say goodbye? Or on anything I showed you, actually. Oh, and I I have other yarns that King Cole sent me. They sent me extra of this. I might make some socks with it coming up. And then I have a sweater idea that they sent me yarn for. I do not know when this will get on the schedule, but this yarn, this is hilarious. Not hilarious, it's really cool. Drifter yarn. All of their colorways are named for various states because the idea of the yarn is like traveling around the US, right? This is Illinois yarn. This colorway is Illinois, and these colors, purple and green, not quite these shades, but purple and green, were actually my wedding colors. So I think that's hilarious. This is probably going to become a sweater, maybe in late summer or early fall. But they sent me enough for a sweater, so I'm going to do something big with it. Okay, Laura, what's the best one to buy? The best... Oh, this comes with both, so you don't have to choose. This comes with both. So this is the best one to buy. I like this one a lot. So this is how it comes off. You just okay, I haven't done this yet, so watch me break it now. You know what? I'm not quite sure how it comes off. It's probably in the instructions though, so I'll check that. And when I do the review, I'll be sure to tell you guys how it just pulls off. It just pulls off. So that pulls off, and then this goes in, and there you go. Now you've got the 6-prong one. I think you have to like twist it to the right point, and then it just pulls off. Yep, just like that. So anyway, very cool. And that's all I've got for you. So I will say goodbye. Have a great weekend and rest of your week. And I'll see you next week. Bye.